is formally a day off in the US, and also because I think many people already came last week. One thing, Tenny's back. Again, it's evening, Nigeria. Hello, everyone. I wasn't sure today how many of you would be here for the first time. Can you raise your hand if this is your first call? I recognize a bunch of faces. Okay, so half and half, which is interesting because we have to go through some stuff that those of you who are here for the first time have not heard without boring those who have heard it. So we'll try to find a way. But welcome all. Give me another minute to allow more people to come in. There's about 35 of you here right now. Some on video and some are not. It is good to see your faces. Thank you for being here. For those who have not been here before, I'm Ami. My colleague Matthew is here with me in the office. You can see his smiling face in the back. You're all welcome to be on video if you can, or not if you prefer not to. Amparo is back. Okay, she has a heart up, I see. So yes, about half of you have been here before. So for those of you who've been here before, I will do this relatively more quickly than we did in the past. So anyway, I want to ask both groups to forgive me, or forgive me for hearing some things twice. And if you haven't heard before, I'm going to go a little bit faster than I did last time. And I think we're all going to catch up. The fact that there are fewer people here today, I actually look forward to that. We can have more conversation. I would love to know, where you're at, what you're thinking, what do you need, if anything, to sort of move forward with us and begin to make things happen. So let's see. First, just to get a little bit on the same page again. Again, I'm conscious of those of you who've already heard this before, so please bear with me for a few minutes, and I'll just forget that you're there, and you can hear some of this again, and then we'll go with everyone else. The reason I think that we're all here today, I sent out an email about 10 days ago asking, the subject line was to asking 1,000 people around the world to volunteer or to sort of step up. That was the word that we used to do something cool together. About 8,000 people go back to us. Last week, we held 7 of these calls with about 1,500 people who actually showed up for the calls. It was quite moving to see all these faces. And then people are beginning to plan what they want to do on, 5/5 and onwards. The basic idea here, to sort of repeat that, is that we're doing this because I think many of us believe, I think rightly so, that the world could and should be better. And together we can do something about it. One simple way that we're proposing to do this, or to start this engine of doing much more together, is by picking one day a month. We're picking these days that, the date works all over the world, 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, etc. Those days are memorable. People seem to remember them. Once you tell them once, they won't forget. And also, they literally work around the world. If you say 3/7, it can be, March 7th here, but July 3rd there. 5/5 works everywhere. And the idea being that if once a month, wherever we are in the world, and yes, this is everywhere. People have asked, again and again, if this is supposed to happen everywhere. The idea is yes. Now, it doesn't mean that it's as easy everywhere. Some of us, some people live in places that are safe and free, and you can do whatever you want. Other people have written me to say how they live in places where this is very difficult, repressive regimes, unsafe neighborhoods. And so we all have to consider that we're not in one place. We're in very, very different conditions and what people can do. But the idea is that basically wherever people can do at least one thing to connect, to make the world around them better, to celebrate our shared humanity, we'll start doing that once a month and then build from there a whole network, a movement that can do much more together also between those days as we build this out. That is the basic idea. Now, we need to start. We are aiming for, a date that is a little bit now less than 3 months away, May 5th, 5/5. The reason for that was that, the reason not to do something like big, 3/3, was as you're trying to do something month after month, the next month is literally a couple of weeks away constantly. So we deliberately said, let's pick something that is 3 months out so we can plan a bit, invite people, invite organizations, create materials, et cetera, et cetera. And then also, in some cases, people asked us, if there will be some unifying theme to start. People can do, obviously anything they want that day to, bring people together. but we suggested, what if we, every day in our lives starts with some kind of breakfast? The morning starts somehow, tea, coffee, whatever we drink, whatever we eat. And so this idea of celebrating what we're calling a global community breakfast around the world on 5/5. Again, that breakfast can mean many, many different things. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to share my screen for 5 minutes and then sort of come back. But the idea of having a theme for the day, again, this idea of breakfast, it can be actually any time of the day, but to start the day together around the world. This is not at one, there are time zone issues. So for 24 hours a day, as the world turns, we'll be doing this, all day long, and to bring people together, whether in small or big events, or even one person alone. I'm seeing that Orit has a cup of something in front of her. And so Orit could participate by simply raising that cup and taking a photo of that cup and saying, I am here somewhere in the world. Um, Depending on where she lives, she could even use that cup and hide her face and say, I'd rather not show myself, but I am participating with you. I'm here with you in body and spirit around the world. And so it can be anything from that to something much bigger than that. So I'm going to share my screen for 1 second to imagine what we are trying to do in 5/5. And then I would really love this to open the conversation to all of you and step in and say, where you see yourselves. Does this make sense? What you would do and what you would need from us or from each other to be able to do this. I forgot a really important thing in the chat at the beginning. I forgot to say that please use the chat to say your name and say where you're from in the world. Some of you are doing it already. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Yes, I can't say good morning or good afternoon because it's different time, different in the world. St. Louis, Uganda, Virginia, Ontario, Canada. And somebody's saying Peter Miller with 2 events to 8 homelessness. Yes, hello from Baltimore, Sacramento. Hola in Peru, Micaela, and from Kenya. Okay, cool. So please use the chat for that. One thing that is urgent right now, and that yesterday we were planning for this, is to begin to connect all of you, all of us locally. So anyone who is in Nigeria or Peru or Uganda or Canada can find all the others in the country and or in the city. We're going to be able to launch that in the next couple of days, sort of asking people to be anchors for that and then build around that. Hopefully by Saturday, 4/4, it's April 4th, it's a Saturday. Hopefully we can see some local meetups around the world of us to start organizing for 5/5. It'd be lovely to see each other locally, whether in person or on local Zooms that can happen, across the country or across the city. We'll leave that up to you, but that's where we are right now. So that's another way of saying, please don't try to use the chat too hard to put your phone number or your LinkedIn to connect with each other. We're going to connect you in the next week or two, much more methodically than that. Okay, so let's see. Let me share my screen for 1 second. I am going to click on share. I'm going to pick my screen. I'm going to share it. Somebody will nod and say that it's being shared. Matthew is nodding. I want to show the meeting again because I want to see you. Again, I'll try for this to be the last time that I apologize. The fact that some of you have seen this already, but basically, I'll go through this relatively quickly. We're trying to find something and are trying to find something that we can propose to anyone, anywhere, from unions to churches to people to nonprofits to companies, something that would work, that will work, I think, everywhere, that would strengthen local connections, neighbors, friends, colleagues, and then also see and show and celebrate our shared humanity. Push against the idea that those people over there on the other side of whatever line divides us, that those are bad people, to show that in fact all over the world they're amazing people, and for it to be something that is easy and beautiful. We also saw this as sort of, layers. Basically, if we're going to start doing these monthly Idealist days, month after month after month, let's start with a layer that starts the day and then build more on top of it. There'll always be breakfast. We'll always start the day somehow. And that was this idea. So we ended with this idea of what we're calling a global community breakfast on 5/5. This is an event on a platform called Luma that we're using for events. It's free, it's public. We will send you links on how to use this if you'd like to use it. And anyone can then add their event to a global calendar. You can see, if you can see my cursor here, it says add to calendar. Anyone can add an event to a big global calendar. We're going to be able to see everything and promote everything together. This event here is luma.com/idealistday55. There's a number 55. Probably Matthew already has it in the chat. But if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up there. We're using this as like one central event to basically from here be able to organize locally to show that we're interested. And then also we'll be online that day, all day long, showing what's happening around the world. So this is the basic idea that can then grow and expand in various different directions. The first, as you can see on this photo, this idea that everything counts. Basically, in this case, four hands with in this case, the idealist sort of symbol and some food and saying, we're here. You could imagine this anywhere in the world where people have simply a phone with a camera on it. They happen to be my daughters, my wife, and my mother-in-law, but they could be anyone participating from anywhere. This was last summer in Spain. And it could be as big or bigger than in New York. We will start that morning by walking across the Brooklyn Bridge to see the sunrise from the bridge, just because we think it would be a fun, cool, nice thing to do and beautiful way to start the day. Anyone, anywhere can, of course, organize something similar. But again, just to show the breadth of anything from, just showing a cup with a photo all the way to something as big as crossing the bridge. We hope to, at that point, have several hundred people. We haven't really promoted this yet. And so this is the breadth of it. And then again, I'm not going to go through, there's a list of ideas that we have here that are going to go up on the site on Idealist later this week. But just to give you a sense of what it could be, and I'll go through this relatively quickly because some of you have seen this, everything from meeting with, new or long-time neighbors, gathering and networking with professional colleagues, having or not having a speaker to come to an event. So this can be breakfast or breakfast plus. It can be, again, any time of the day, actually, and it can include much more than simply sharing, some food or a drink, although that on its own would already be amazing. So you can use that excuse that day, 5-5, and then, of course, later 6-6, etc., to start something if you wanted to start for a long time. Yesterday, got this wonderful email from this young man in Nigeria who wants to organize his village to go out and plant trees to basically protect the village against the desert, the Sahara that is coming down. And so he's using that excuse for that. You can choose to just honor or celebrate someone in your life, in your organization, in your neighborhood, who should be thanked more than they have been maybe in the past. Run an open house for any nonprofit that you are associated with, work with, or volunteer with. Invite people to come to see what the nonprofit does. Go out to the street or go out on your stoop of your building or go out anywhere with, a warm drink and some food and just talk to people passing by about what it is that they could do, what they would love to see in the community. Maybe put up some post-it notes with ideas that people have that can be then executed in the next several months. Use the day maybe not to do, or the morning, but to actually plan for a bigger project. Invite people to plan something that they would like to do. Again, different direction. Do something active like taking a walk or a hike or a bike ride. All of this counts. It all creates connection. It all creates community. It will all lead to action. Dance, meditation, etc. There's something here. You see, we try to create something where there's something here for everyone. Hopefully, each of you can imagine at least one thing like this that you could do or organize or co-host or attend. And I hope, even more than one. They can also be combined in various ways, of course. Someone, I think last week, said that they are part of an a cappella choir, a singing group. And so this woman wants to take her singing group to a senior center to sing for the people who live there and then have breakfast for them, which is just a lovely idea and a lovely way of combining multiple things. Serve actual food at a shelter or soup kitchen, and then, actually go and clean up something or paint a mural or plant a tree, play games. Again, there's any number of possibilities, maybe too many, raise funds for a cause. And then lastly, as I've said, if all of these efforts help even just one person move, from intention to action, that would be worth the whole effort. And of course, take a photo. One thing that we will ask everyone to do is make sure that anyone participating in anything you organize knows what this is about. In other words, we'll give you materials, but also, for you to, in your invitation or when you talk to people, let people know that what you're organizing is part of something bigger, right? It will be a bit of a waste to convene, 10 people and have a wonderful time and not let them know that, in fact, this is happening around the world. And so let them know and also invite them to join. There'll be a meeting like this one where instead of seeing one face, you'll see groups of people doing things around the world over 24 hours. That's the basic idea. Then at the end, we'll ask you to sort of report back and let us know, tell us what happened, who showed up, what you did, send us some photos. In the middle, to share, to take a photo, everyone take photos and share on social media, inviting friends to join us on 6/6 and make this, bigger next time. So that's a basic idea. We can do this. Let me stop sharing the basic tool we're going to use. So we're going to use a series of tools to stay in touch, and then a series of tools to actually begin posting these actions and seeing them happening. So to stay in touch, so far, what we have used is email, and the web. We're going to use much more of that. Zooms, begin to doing separating these into orientations for new people, but also brainstorms for those that already want to do and want to help each other do. We'll use any and all social media that people want. So everything from WhatsApp to Slack to Facebook to LinkedIn to whatever, wherever people are, whatever works, to be in touch as much or as little as you want. The more examples that people can see and the more they can respond to, the more they can copy. That's a basic idea. So we'll start sort of pushing forward. And hopefully by focusing on, one big thing, what can we all do on 5/5? We can create this wonderful mosaic together. I think that is what I mostly wanted to say. If people have, what happened last time was that we used the Q&A at the bottom of the screen to ask questions. Now the group is far smaller, and everyone seems more or less sane from what I'm seeing on your faces. So I think we can open this up to anyone that wants to basically say something, ask something. John, I want to pick on you for a second. John Ware in Baltimore, you've been so supportive and involved, and I think you actually even put something wonderful in your LinkedIn about wanting to beat the drum in Baltimore. I'm not sure if I have to get you a drum or if you already have a drum, but we can actually send you a drum that you can beat. But I think when you look at Baltimore, John, and you think, a couple months ahead, can you imagine yourself sort of organizing something, hosting something? Can you imagine something in the city that would be, and if I'm putting you too much on the spot, tell me to back off. But basically, I'd love to see something happening in the harbor. I don't know what is possible. What do you think is possible in Baltimore that you can imagine happening or helping organize, especially once we send you or hook you up with more people?
I'm open to just about anything. I mean, I love the energy that comes with this. So I think all sorts of good things can grow from it. Um, so once we start to organize some people together, I'll be anxious to hear the ideas that people have and try to go with that. I'm also not far from you. I'm about 3 hours away, so that walk across the Brooklyn Bridge sounds pretty cool too. So
Yeah, but that would feel like a waste, John, in terms of I'd rather come to your walk. In other words, if everyone goes to the same place, then we end up, it'd be lovely to
sure.
see you. And of course we can do both.
Yeah.
But come really early, do the thing, go back home and do something in the afternoon in Baltimore. That'd be fantastic. You can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all this to say that yes, one thing I think that we haven't had enough, last week we did, like I said, 7 of these. They were big. We had some back and forth with questions. I'd love to hear more from you, and please, anything you'd like about what, if anything, is not clear. Is this all completely sort of clear? The idea again here is to we're suggesting that if all of us do one easy thing that I think most of us can do, most of you, I think, in your life have organized, a small meeting, a big meeting, an event, something, or co-host something, that if all of us can do one thing that day and use that day as an excuse to basically, tell people around you, I'm doing this, I'm not crazy, it's happening everywhere, you can join me on this, that many of us can do that, then the sort of global thing we're painting together could be wonderful, and we can go from there. So if this is clear, wonderful. If something is not clear, please go ahead and ask, either by raising your hand or by using the Q&A. And most importantly, what, if anything, are you going to need? I think obviously, people have mentioned, little press kits that we can give you to sort of contact local media, material to spread the word. I mean, that is, and we can create that together in the next week or two. What else? A calendar, central calendar to see all the events together and to also inspire each other. But I will stop and I will give the mic to Amparo Vasquez. Amparo is such a wonderful name. I don't know if you guys, so Amparo in Spanish is like, you sort of hide if it's raining. Like Amparo basically is protection for you. So Amparo, please protect us and tell us what you might need.
Thank you so much, Ami. I'm just really excited. Thank you once again for organizing this, and thank you for the spirit that you embody in doing this. It makes a big difference. So thank you so much. apart from what you've shared already, I think one of the things that comes up for me is materials around team building, community building itself. Because the way that we have been trained, especially as of late, to relate to one another is so inherently dehumanizing towards self, towards others, right? And so we need to create a whole new model for relating with ourselves and with each other. And something that's more community oriented, something that's more so like Knights of the Round Table versus one person that's dictating over others, right? And so I'm starting to explore those models myself. I'm happy to share with whoever if there's like a central brainstorming hub of how we can start to share those resources so that we can start to, I think I think new models need to be created on the planet all together. But there's a lot of people that have already started to think about this, right? So there's pieces of the puzzle all over the place as humanity does. So how can we start to put this all together, mix it in a bowl, and then create something that's going to work and going to last and going to be sustainable? Because that's what we need to move towards, right? Everything that we're doing right now is so deeply unsustainable because it's so violent towards ourselves, towards others. So we have to create a new DNA of like
Got it.
relating to each other. Yeah.
Thanks so much for that. I think I want to like very quickly, I think there's like 4 or 5 different things that you said. I think one thing is that I think over the last 20 years or more, so many people, even like on this call, have been involved in various organizing efforts. And I think so many of those have been, we've learned so much, I think all of us collectively, about what works, what doesn't work. It starts even from something as basic as a family dinner. Some things work, some things don't work. Some Thanksgivings are better than others. Some parties are better than others. We sort of know what works. And I think if we gather all of the stuff that we know has worked and put it like in one place, basically, like a repository. You can just like literally click on ideas from people, the best everything, the best icebreaker, all the way to the best to continue thing, tips and things that actually work for people. That'd be useful. I think you said, we need to invent new things. I think partly we do. Partly, I think we also have to go back and just remember what it's like to be just human. I think we know this. We can reinvent it. We can just like literally remember what it feels like to just be okay with other people and not be transactional, or I mean, just like build cool things together just because. And so yes, we will do that. And I love, your the circle. Yes, I mean, part of why our symbol is circular. You want this to be sort of a circular thing and to release. I mean, the whole point here is to have something decentralized. For it to be decentralized and work, it has to be like a game that has some rules that we all, agree on. Otherwise, we can't even have a conversation. But then beyond that, just go, right? People should just be able to do their thing within, again, some really, really basic rules. So all this to say, yes, we have to find those models in Palo. And I think it goes beyond finding models. They're, I think, wonderful people that can come and speak here, instead of me or instead of Matthew, and just teach us what they have learned. I think they're wonderful people that have learned like amazing things around the world of how they have organized and what has worked and what hasn't. And then every person instinctively can borrow what they want from each speaker, right? Or from each, like, oh, that seems cool to me. I'll take that one. I don't really like that one, but I'm going to take this piece from this. Rosemary Martin, go for it. I think Matthew's going to there you go. I think you have the mic, Rosemary. Go for it.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello, where are you, Rosemary?
I'm Rosemary from Kenya, and I'm so excited to be here. This is the second time to be in this forum. My first time was last week on Tuesday, Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. And I feel at home because volunteering has been it's my passion. I've been volunteering since I was in college. That's like 5 years ago. So I believe, or rather, I look forward to meeting my Kenyan brothers and sisters. Think of what we can come up with as young people or Kenyans who are passionate about, like, I'm looking forward to meeting people who have the same passion as me, people who believe in the same values as I do. And if I can borrow some ideas we used to have back in the days, we used to organize ourselves as a group of volunteers. We could visit children's home, do some cleanup within informal settlements within Nairobi. We could also visit the street kids within Nairobi. We could provide them with basic necessities like food, clothing, and also doing mentorship about sexual reproductive health, especially when it comes to the teenagers, girls to be precise. So I can't wait to see what this forum holds for us in future as Kenyans. And I wish we could organize a day or a certain date for us to meet so that we can familiarize ourselves with the whole thing, what would love to do. And maybe if we could come up with something like uniform, some branded t-shirts, if you allow us to use the logo, have t-shirts we could be wearing when we are going to implement our projects, if it is a cleanup, because we have done a lot of cleanup activities under Kenya Red Cross, because I happen to be a volunteer at Kenya Red Cross and we do a lot of activities. We can also, or rather, I've even attended a prison visit with some couple of volunteers. It actually it's a nice experience, but if only you have that heart of giving or sacrificing your time and resources so that others can benefit. So it's all about being passionate and being committed to whatever it is that we want to do as volunteers.
Thank you,
So
Rob.
I'm happy to be here, and I cannot just imagine how things are going to change for us. Those who happen to feel like this is where they belong, I'm sure the future holds a lot for us. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. Actually, I appreciate a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. It is we. I think it is I who, I thank you for being here. And I'm still, as we were talking, I was thinking, for the thousandth time about this miracle that we have now that we can actually talk to each other by video like this. You are actually sitting in Kenya, and we are talking to you. I'm talking to you from New York, and vice versa. And we don't need, big television trucks to show up to your house. That is truly, a miracle for some of us who are of a certain age. That all we have is a phone, and before that, of course, nothing. And now we can see you. And I think that things have changed in this way. I think things have changed so quickly just in the last 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, this whole thing with COVID and Zoom, and the fact that all of us can be having these meetings like this. I think we haven't even begun to take advantage of what that actually means. I mean, the fact that basically almost every human being, not everyone, but vast majorities of people around the world today can be having a conversation, can be sharing ideas, best practices, encouragement, is an amazing thing. And we've hardly begun to touch what that could mean. We touch it locally a little bit, within, but yes, there's so much we can do. I'll tell you one really quick thing, Rosemary. My wife is a school teacher. She teaches Spanish here, and she goes to the class. She gives her Spanish class, and the kids all have iPads or whatever, and there are thousands of schools in Spanish-speaking countries. The kids also have iPads, and every day for half an hour, they could be talking to the kids here and teaching them English or teaching them Spanish and vice versa. And essentially, no school does this. Maybe some school does it somewhere, and it's amazing. You have this technology. We could all be teaching each other languages. Schools could be connected in this way, and we don't do it, and we haven't really digested that this is truly possible. So thank you, Rosemary. We will be sharing ideas. We learn from you. We'll learn from each other. Peter, go for it.
There we go. Okay, I put a few things in the chat. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I'm going to reconnect with my friend Andrew Funk, who runs a group in Barcelona called the Homeless Entrepreneur. He was homeless in Minneapolis and somehow transferred over to Barcelona. And both of us, what we've been doing is teaching homeless people how to start a business. And we'd like to try to put together a homeless event to give back to the community and to do a disability event to give back to the community. So we need some help doing that.
Thank you, Peter. I love that idea, and the idea of inviting people that are seen as, you're seen as homeless, you're seen as disabled, you're seen as, in some cases, less than, and actually inviting them, ironically, to actually give and see what they can do would be wonderful. Tenny, last time I didn't understand completely if you were in Nigeria or in Niger. Where are you? Can you tell us?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm from Nigeria. So, um, I want to talk about what I want to like my contribution about this organization. So, the step that I'm currently taking now is that I'm trying to organize some like bringing up maybe my friends and different people like students like me in general. So bringing them together and giving some kind of like meeting some business owner, giving them business strategies and all this local business, local farmer. We just try to localize the strategy that they are using before. It's not like maybe we are going to disorganize their strategy, but we are going to give them business strategies and that is working actually, and go to some schools, do some community service, and if we can be able to construct the organization in the sense that we'll be able to give out some certificates as volunteering like the organization is more of kind of volunteering service that because a lot of people kind of here in Nigeria, most especially students, they are looking for volunteering job, but maybe because of their academic, some might be undergraduate, some might be because of academic stuff. So some of them aren't given the opportunity for the volunteering service. So if we can organize this community for students that might want to apply for scholarship and we need volunteer job as part of extracurricular activities that they engage themselves in. So in fact, if we can create some kind of organization like that, so I will be glad to learn a lot from this organization. So thank you.
Thank you, Tenny. Anybody else on what you would need? Any questions? Any lack of clarity? Warren Wilkinson. You see him, Matthew? Warren, do you see if you can raise your Zoom hand? Can you do that? At the bottom, there's like a way to raise your hand. Oh, I think he saw you. He just saw you, Warren.
Yeah, I just saw it pop up to unmute myself. So I wanted to ask you a bit about the people who want to meet locally in person. I know you mentioned like there could be someone who can volunteer to kind of host that meeting, but I want to know more details about, for example, how would it be determined where the group's going to meet, what time, what day, and is there any structure that that host is supposed to follow for the meeting? And essentially, just what would that look like for someone who wants to meet locally in person?
Yeah. Yes to all of the Warren. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to send out an email probably tomorrow or Wednesday with a little form to sort of all of you who have signed up for this, just saying, who wants to be not even an organizer, because that can sound like a lot. Who wants to start by being like the magnet or the place that people can converge? Because right now, the problem that we have, or the challenge that we have, right, is that let's say that we have 20 people in Baltimore where John lives. We can't simply take, a spreadsheet of 8,000 emails and just give it to all of you and let you find each other. It's not going to work. What we can do is ask, for example, John, not to pick on him, to volunteer and says, hey, John, would you like to be, just like the initial spark for a group getting together? So John can then go to a tool like Luma, which we will, send you and basically tell you, how to use. And John can say, for example, on Saturday, 4/4, let's meet. and he will put up that event there. Now, at first, he doesn't even have to decide where or when. This is 6 weeks out. He can just say, let's meet that day. And then you, Warren, let's imagine you live in Baltimore. You go and you just say, yes, and you give your email and your name there. And suddenly John has, those 15 or 20 emails there. Some of you can also join him as, co-hosts. He can then email from the tool. He can email all 15 of you. And you can say, look, there's 15 of us. Let's maybe meet on, WhatsApp, or let's have a Zoom call, or let's have a, whatever we want. And let's decide together, would we want to get together in person or, on Zoom? If in person, then where? In the harbor or somewhere else? Does the afternoon make sense? The morning make sense? And so you have a couple of weeks to decide. And honestly, if I were, in your place, in the sense, I would wait. If this is 6 weeks out, I would wait, a few weeks to see how many more join us and how many more friends we can invite. And then based on how many we are, we can decide, when, the day, where. So those logistics will be up to each group to decide, because your city, your town, what makes sense. Should we actually meet? We live in a big city. There's a bunch of us. Should we meet in two places so that people don't have to travel that much, right? In New York, it might be, Manhattan and Brooklyn or something, like two different places. That's fine. And then the basic agenda, I think, for the first time, certainly, who is here? Some basic intros. And then immediately, I think, to begin talking about what are we actually doing on 5/5. I think if we get too, unfocused, talking about all kinds of things, it'd be maybe fun the first time, but it's going to dissipate. I think the meeting really is about what are we actually all doing. Should we do one big thing? Are we doing many smaller things? How can we help each other? Can we invite friends? Who else should be in this room who's not here? Who else do we know in Baltimore that we should be inviting, that would love to get invited? And so we'll give you, some draft agendas to use, some ideas basically, but then it'll be up to each group to sort of go from there. And based on where you are, it's very, very different, I think, for 3 people to get together for coffee than for 40 people to gather, somewhere. It's going to be very different. So we're going to give you different structures, and people will be here supporting that. And we learn together as we go. But that's the basic idea. First, gather, see how many we have, then set up a date and a time. Then we'll give you some agenda items, proposals that you can sort of take from there, and then go forward so people feel confident that they can do this and not feel, oh my God, people are coming, what am I going to do, etc. Okay? I hope that made sense. ¿Qué más? A ver, who else is there? Ragav, are you Ragav or Ragav? How should we pronounce your name?
That was going to be my first statement. Hey, everyone. Ami, you are just wonderful with your knowledge of cultures and greetings and name pronunciations. It's the latter. It's Raghav.
Raghav, okay.
Nice to meet everyone on the call. Actually, I was going to share something.
Raghav, where are you? Just where are you in the world? Can you tell us?
I'm in Dallas, Texas, United States.
Okay.
I am from India originally. I'm an immigrant here. I wanted to ask something and or suggest something. But before that, actually, if you won't mind, I might ask you to repeat parts of what you just shared. Help me. I'll ask my question and also then give my suggestion, and then you can just respond to both of them. My question, hearing you what you just answered, help me understand how is this local groups are supposed to work. Like one person is supposed to kind of volunteer to be not the leader, but kind of just the face or the front of that local group to get things going. And are they supposed to collect the information from others to create that group, or are we going to use Luma? Sorry, I know you said parts of it, but I missed it. That was my question. And if I might just end a session so you can just keep talking. So what I was thinking, listening to some folks and also my own thoughts, I feel there's a mix, obviously, you know that, mix of highly passionate and creative individuals here who will do something big. And then some people who have this desire, or they just want to do something, right? Might not have all the ideas or the resources. And I think you said it in different words, and probably your words, great words, but when you share something which might be on this Luma platform or an email, and I'm happy to help with this, I will start with that. Creating some kind of a handbook might be helpful. Sorry if it sounds corporate, but all it should talk about is what, when, where, and then the how. I think you have already talked about what, when, where in different ways. For people who have ideas and have resources or already have part of volunteer groups, for them, how might not be difficult. But for people who are individuals, either in big cities or small cities, but who are here, for them, the how can be difficult because they might just not know where do I go. And I know you are asking us, what do you need from us? But honestly, I'm in a big city, but I'm just giving my example. I don't know what I need from you. But if you tell me 5 ideas of how, like, this is what we recommend you do if you don't know what to do, right? That might just be a starting point for a lot of individuals. So I'm sure you might have thought of this already, but I wanted to share this, and I'm happy to help if you need.
Thank you so much. Yes, so the idea, but let me start from the second part. The idea is to give you handbook / recipe book, whatever you want to call it, basically. I think in the one hope, I think one thing we've seen is that on those 20 ideas that I run by quickly before, some people will see something that's like, oh, I know how to do that. I don't even need, I know how to cook that dish. I have gathered friends before. I've gathered colleagues. I brought a speaker. I know how I've cleaned the street. I know how to do that. I'll do that. Or I want to try something new. But for each of these things, I think a little recipe that gets you at least going. And of course, having a partner would be a huge help. So that, yes, we're going to basically do that. That's a big priority, like literally for February. In February, we'd love to put together the materials that we need to move forward, and then we can create these things as we go. For your previous question, Raghav, it's basically, Raghav, it's a sort of technical question. Like literally you have these thousands of people. So for example, imagine there are 10 more in Dallas. It becomes literally a technical question of how we get you together with the other 9. Luma seems to be helpful simply because although it's an event tool primarily, it's not a community tool, ironically, it requires no login. You don't have to create an account. Someone just puts up the thing and then you go, and then suddenly that person, or you in this case, can email the other 9 and say, okay, here we are. We can get together if you want, on any given day. We can change the day, we can change the place. But also we now have each other's emails. And now, based on your local, culture, what you like, etc., how should we be in touch? Should we be in touch by WhatsApp, by Slack, by Facebook, by whatever you want? And in different places, people use different things. Discord, we don't really care. My sense is that people will very quickly come up with something that works for them locally. You know how you have around the world now, you have WhatsApp cultures where people just say, well, of course, WhatsApp, right? That's what we should do, especially for a small group, of course. Other people who are more corporate may say, Slack. Other people may say Discord. Somebody could say Facebook. All of the above, we don't really care. You will find a way to be in touch with each other. It could literally be as simple as a mailing list. If it's 4 people, just have each other's mails and be in touch, and then grow from there. But for the convergence of people, Luma seemed to be like a good way to do it because it's so easy, because it's just one click away and there's no login or sign up or technicality of any sort. Anyone can go, enter a name and email and click submit, and suddenly this volunteer host can do that. You also mentioned earlier, we're looking for like leaders. It's not even that. It's someone who's willing to volunteer, to be the first to gather that. Then if you're shy, give it to somebody else. Like just be there so that people can converge on you, and then people can divide up the work. And having done that piece, you can give it to other people and you can run away and hide. But we need someone to literally, and we were thinking of possibly for the biggest 50 cities that we would do it. I don't think it's necessary. I think you guys can do it. We'll just to find one person. We'll find, I think, more. We'll, go together and go from there. I hope that more or less answers the question. Raghav, what do you do when you're not on these calls? What do you do in your other life? I'm just curious. Professionally, I don't know if Matthew can give you the mic again for a second.
You're probably going to judge me based on the ideas I shared. I am a data scientist analyst by profession, customer strategy. Okay. So organizing and being structured is a part of life.
Okay, we will take you up on that.
No, yes. Anything I can. I have other skills, but happy to help in any way. If it's sweeping, I'm happy to help.
No sweeping. Thank you, Amparo.
That's so funny. Sorry. I just wanted to flag that I put something in the chat that might be a really excellent model to research for how to build a really good, structured but humane online community that has structured education built into it. Goodparty.org. So their mission is to help more people run as independent and third-party candidates. Incredible mission, values aligned all over the place, but it's the structure of the community itself that might be a really good model to consider. Because what you're describing is excellent, and also some people might really benefit from structured education, structured training. And so you can join their circle community. It's free. Someone can go in there and fish around and see what it's like. They also do a really good job of keeping the community warm with fairly low lift things. So I just wanted to pass that on and flag it.
Wonderful. We will track them down. Thank you, Amparo. This is exactly what I was looking forward to today, guys. And by the way, I think that the vast 50 people started this meeting, and I think only 2 have left. So I'll take that as a vote. You guys are still here. Either you have nothing better to do with your day or your evening, or you are enjoying this in some way. So thank you for being here. We don't have to take the whole hour. Oh my God, it's 2:46. How did that happen? Michaela, you seem to be sitting there. You're smiling. What is your story? Where are you? What is the art behind you? Where is this? What is that art behind you?
Hi. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I'm an artist, a musician and a painter. I'm in Missouri right now, at a women's retreat. And I'm feeling very inspired and hopeful by seeing all you guys' faces and the positive change that we want to bring forth in the world. I have a couple of ideas that have been sparking in my mind, but at the same time, I tend to keep quiet until I feel like they're, coagulated.
Sorry for picking
Yeah.
on you. So the art behind you, you made the art behind you?
No, friends made the art. This is not my home. I'm actually gonna be in New York City as well, starting April. But I used to live in the Bay Area, and now I'm in Missouri, but I'm originally from Peru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bienvenida.
Gracias.
So, it's funny. You reminded me of something that Rosemary said earlier, right by your, I think, left ear. I think there's something right there that looks a little bit like this, right beside you. I don't know what that is. If you look, yeah, that thing that looks like this. It's very weird. You see, it looks like that. I thought yeah, it's right there. And Rosemary, you asked earlier if you could basically have like a t-shirt with this. You don't have to ask. We years ago already, it's a long process how this happened, where we basically told people this thing is not our logo, it's your logo. Do whatever you want with it. Take it. I mean, and people have done incredible things with it that surprise us. You can paint it, you can draw, you can make earrings with it, you can do whatever you want. So basically, if you want to use this as a way of basically saying, yeah, we're here, you can see us, one more visual way of showing that around the world people share these basic values that we're saying: freedom, dignity, respect, generosity, kindness, and have that be symbolized by something very visual. Then please use it. No need to ask, no need to run it by us. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it. It's not really ours at this point. Let me think. Anything else? Thank you all. And I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything. If not, we can say goodbye and see you soon. And I don't know, Matthew, if you want to take another photo because you have fun doing it. It's up to you. We can also just open all the mics and people can just say, goodbye or see you next or whatever.
Love taking group picture. Would be happy to do that. So yeah, if you are new to this or it's not your first time, feel free to turn on your video so that way we can see your wonderful face. And we're going to take a group picture. So there's lots of fun ways to do that. I know some of the pros in the room are going to know how to do all the reactions, but if you don't, by the share button down below, there are all sorts of fun reactions that you can use. And you can make different emotes come up, or your computer might have some fun ones that you can do based on hand gestures. So yeah, let's do a picture in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you all. A real pleasure. Thank you so much. As for those who just showed up right now. And if you, I think Matthew's going to open all your mics now to just say, goodbye. And thank you all for being here. I think you can all turn on your mics now if you want. And just, we'll see you soon. And feel free to say anything you like. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Stay safe over there.
Bye,
everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Gaela, quédate un segundo. Quédate un
Really
segundo.
appreciate it.
Quédate un segundo.
Hello?
Pleasant.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Can you give
Holler
me
at me if you need anything I can help with. Bye.
I'm going to reach out to you. Bye.
Bye. I really appreciate it.
Bye.
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 Luego te busco.
Can you give me opportunity? I want to talk. My name is Muhammad Mustafa.
Where are you?
I am from Sudan.
You know, I don't see you. Are you on video?
He's in the
Can
lower
you see
right-hand
me?
corner. I can
Oh,
see him.
yes, now I see you. Yes.
Can you see me?
Yes.
I am really appreciated. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Muhammad Mustafa from Sudan. I live in South Sudan, Juba. So let me talk about volunteering. Volunteering is important things for me. I have volunteered several local community events. So for that why, I'm going to be with you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I will see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Muhammad. And please stay safe over there. I know it's Sudan are difficult right now. Please stay safe and take care of yourself, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We will end the call now, but thank you so much, and we will be in touch and hopefully see you, all of you, again soon. Okay?
Okay, okay. I'm gonna follow you every time.
Muchas gracias.
Hasta
Un
luego.
placer.
Everyone.
Hasta luego. Buenas noches.